stuff like that. And one of the best adaptations for that is that if she climbs down into a den and she's being hunted by a predator, all she's got to do is climb down in there, and all that stuff on her rear end really helps keep her safe. So she's got a big skirt of quills that she can't shoot at predators. A lot of people think that porcupines can shoot those quills, but they don't shoot them. Instead, what would happen is they would simply move towards the predator, and then those quills dislodge from their skin very easily. So those quills are just a modified hair, basically, very similar to the keratin in your fingernails, but it's basically just a hair follicle with a little bit of a different, makeup. So those quills come out very quickly, and they're barbed on one side, on the outside. So those barbs help to keep those quills in place once they've stuck into a predator or something that gets quilled by them. So that's a really great form of defense for her. And what's cool is that they sit down against her body most of the time. They're just like door hairs. There are muscles attached to them, so she can lift them up and create a much larger defensive barrier. So it allows her to have an even broader space that defends herself. And what's really neat about these guys too is that even though they're a rodent and they're herbivores, so they're not super high on the food chain, these guys will stand and defend themselves. They are not cowards by any means. If a predator comes up on these guys, they will fight back and they will defend themselves. And worst case scenario, they would run and go into their den and have their quills out the back end so that that animal can't follow them in. But Jabari's amazing. She's a lot of fun. She loves to get scratches on her shoulders and around her neck. She seems to really like that. You can see she's munching on some lettuce, and we got a whole bunch of ice sitting out there for her. So she gets to hang out in there because as an African animal, when it gets hot out, she wants to sit inside. So this allows her to get a little bit of movement, change up her day, give her something new and fun to interact with. She seems to love munching on lettuce. She eats a lot of fruits and vegetables, and then we have a special rodent diet for her. And that rodent diet is super important because rodents' teeth grow continuously throughout their entire life. And having something crunchy and tough for her teeth to bite down on allows us to keep those teeth down really well in a very natural way. So we don't have to do dental work on her regularly because those rodent diet, that kind of stuff helps her to keep her teeth worn down really well. So it's a super important part of her diet. Even though she wouldn't necessarily eat something like that out in the natural environment, it helps us to make sure that she's getting the best possible care. She is also another animal that loves to interact with all sorts of fun different ways to give her food. So I love to put in a cardboard box full of food. Her senses that she uses primarily are typically her smell. She has very poor eyesight, and her hearing is pretty good. But she's going to rely mostly on her smell to find food. So one of the fun things we can do for her as well is to take different spices and things that smell good